Hello, everypony. It's Fluttershy169 here, bringing to you the not-so-daily updates of your favorite My Little Pony fanfictions. Now, you've all probably been wondering where I've been for the past couple of days. Well, I've been trying to get into the L words, and failing miserably at that. Right now, I'm really just not feeling it. So I'm going to take a small break from it, and I'm going to move on to another story. One that you all know very, very well. This story, of course, is My Little Dashie. I first heard this story from Azekahh. He did an amazing reading of it, and I decided that I wanted to try to do my own reading. So, without further ado, I bring to you My Little Dashie, written by Rob Cakran, 53, edited by SirPeppermintJam. I live my life one day at a time. A good portion of those days are uneventful, always falling into the same routine. I wake up, walk to work, walk home, then bum around until I go to bed. Sometimes I hang out with a few friends, while other times I just play video games or watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Every so often, something new and interesting happens. I meet an old friend. I find $1 on the ground, or I get chased by a stray dog. Living in a dying city isn't very fun or interesting. This city was once full of life and color, but now most of the houses are sagging, the business sit empty and abandoned, and several open fields lay barren of the once great factories that helped drive this great economy. I've never seen those cities during those time in person, but I have seen pictures. My mother and father lived happy, and they could only wish the same for me growing up. Sadly, I cannot say that I have achieved that wish of theirs. I've fallen into the same dull routine. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat. I do have some moments of bliss, but the daily struggles I go through outweigh the small moments of joy I have. My Little Pony has hope, but it's just another thing to give my hopes up on. Every time I see the show, or one of the ponies on the fan site, I recoil a bit at the bright colors, the joyful faces of the ponies, and the peaceful scenery of their work. It's so hard to look at the beautiful world, having it so close to my grasp. I reach out to touch its warm colors and bright, smiling faces of the ponies, only to be stopped by my computer screen. I snap back into reality. It gets to the point where I simply just shut down my computer and walk away. I do that a lot, especially after my parents' death. I go for a walk. When I feel sad, I walk. When I feel tired, I walk. When I feel like walking, I walk. Walking has become a second life in sense. I spend at least half my day outside, along the crumbling sidewalks and decaying suburbs. I've seen people come and go. I've seen buildings torn down, burned up, or have graffiti on its walls that its original color is unrecognizable. I very rarely pass any other people on my strolls. Most people don't even like to look at their once beautiful city, their homes, or former businesses. I don't blame them. In fact, I envy them. They saw this place with their own eyes, seeing the buildings still standing tall and proud, the lawns freshly cut, the paved roads, the sidewalks still intact. The only thing I've ever seen that even comes close is that of my mother's paintings. Each of them colorful scenes of the concrete world. She started painting once, everything crumbled beneath her feet, making the sad scenery before her look beautiful. Her masterpiece is of an open field that yields a parking lot garage. Over it, she drew an amazing rainbow. My favorite picture. I guess that is part of why I like Rainbow Dash the most out of all the ponies. Her color, the amazing sonic rainbow, all reminded me of that picture. There have been times I wish I had my own Rainbow Dash, or a more realistic plushie of her to curl up in bed with. I made an old Simba into a temporary replacement until I'm able to get enough money for one. It helps, in a way. Like holding it close will heal my wounds, my pain, and my sorrow. My feet, after countless hours of walking in my old shoes, pulsate under the sheet, and all the while I hold that stuffed animal harder than a mother protecting her child. It's the only thing I can look at and feel true joy, even if isn't physically the rainbow dash I want. It'll have to do. Today, as usual, I walked to work. It was the same shit, just a different day. Watching the same people enter the store, grab their merchandise and pay, and then walk out with bags in tow. My shift ended after several hours of this. I clocked out and started to walk home. I decided to use a different route this time, for a change of pace. A little something different from the normal path I'd walk. This part of town was hit the worst. Only a few houses still stand and none of them are occupied. It truly is a sad sight to see. Then again, it's really the only sight I see. The only sight I'll ever see. Or so I thought. I was stopped by something unusual. A stray cardboard box in the middle of the sidewalk. Now, living in this kind of an area, I see trash all the time. Boxes, McDonald's cups, and plastic bags litter the streets and empty fields. But rarely will I see a cardboard box that isn't crushed in one way or another. I noticed this particular box because it happened to be in my way. During my younger years, I tried to do what I could for the community. I'd pick up trash when I saw it, or I'd attempt to help my neighbors. It was a losing battle. Nowadays, I'd given up all hope on cleaning the city, much less my neighborhood. Now, I'll just walk past the trash, letting it blow away in the breeze or sit there and decompose. I'll let what's left of the people do their own things. Since most of them don't care about anyone other than themselves, why should I be any different? I walked past the box, barely giving it a glance. Nothing about it caught my attention right away. I continued to walk on, my home not too far away now. Upon arriving, I sat down and played some games, attempting to push the box out of my mind. I had little luck, as the box somehow managed to push its way back in. Time crept on by, and I soon found myself wanting to go for another walk. I left the house and started down my usual route when I stopped. What was it about that box that made it stick out in my mind? I turned around, starting down the path I had taken to get home, the path that I only walk once in a blue moon. Curiosity got the best of me, and I wanted some closure. Within minutes, I found it, still sitting there, sad and alone among the broken concrete and overgrown grass. It didn't move. It didn't stand out as if it were special. It was just an ordinary brown cardboard box. I didn't want to say I came here for nothing, so I walked closer to it. As I drew closer, however, I began to notice something inside. It was a brightly colored, multiple colors in fact, and it was quite small. Maybe the size of a few-month-old Labrador puppy. I stopped beside the box and looked down to see the colorful blob inside. This is where I currently stand, looking into a box at a small something. No, I know exactly what it is, but my brain won't allow me to fully realize it just yet. At first I want to say it's simply a toy, left to die along with the other things on this block. But then I saw it breathing. In fact, it appeared to be sleeping. My hands are sweating, my breath erratic, and I'm blinking my eyes, trying to refresh my vision. Each time, the image stays the same. Inside is a sleeping filly rainbow dash. I kneel down, trying to get a closer look into the box. I can't believe what I'm seeing. There's not a physical or mental or extraterrestrial way how this could be here, how she could be here in my gloomy, dark, and horrid world. I examine the box further, and on the other side, in simple pen, it says, "Give to a good home." The first thought that runs through my mind, besides the initial filly rainbow dashes in a box, is who would give up a filly rainbow dash? My mind is now a mess of questions. How did she get here? Why is she here? Why is she a filly? Her flank is even barren of her cutie mark, meaning she is indeed a filly. As I stand there and stretch my tired legs, I accidentally bump into the side of the box with my foot, and the inevitable occurs. She wakes up. She looks around, rubbing her face with her foreleg, trying to wake herself up. At first, all she sees are the brown walls of the box. But then she looks up at me. Those large black eyes, along with the rose-colored rim around them, drive my heart to, as the meme goes, explode. Twice. The sheer cuteness of it all drives me to kneel back down, and I can't hold back a smile. I haven't smiled like this in years. Since the last time me and my parents went out to the only remaining park in the area. Her eyes continued to stare at me, and I stared back. I don't know what to say or what to do, but I must start somewhere. "Hi there." I speak, but she doesn't respond. What are you doing here?" She looks around, then back at me. The more I study her, the more I realize she is really young. Years younger than her filly appearance in episode 23. She might not even be able to talk yet. That is, if she even can talk in my world. The fact is that she is even existing right now has me reeling in confusion. I return my attention back to her and notice a small shiver on her body. The fall season is here, and it can get pretty cold, especially around mid-September. I'm not sure how to exactly tackle this situation. Do I take her home? Do I call someone? Who would I even call? I'm a closet brownie, so none of my friends know that I am in fact in love with the show. I can't take her to a shelter. That's a stupid thought in the first place. Not only would it be a horrible sight, she might be taken off to a lab and experimented on or something equally as horrible. I have only one choice.